Silence is the ultimate weapon against toxic individuals. It's a form of revenge that doesn't just protect you, it obliterates their power, leaving them to crumble under the weight of their own negativity. This isn't about being weak or passive. It's about becoming an unshakable force that toxic people can't manipulate or break down. By mastering the art of silent revenge, you'll watch as those who once sought to harm you implode, their toxic behavior rendered useless against your impenetrable calm. This approach, rooted in stoic wisdom, turns the tables on toxic individuals, making them face the consequences of their actions without you uttering a single word. Now, let's explore 13 powerful ways silence destroys toxic people, transforming you into an unmovable pillar of strength they can't ignore or defeat. 1. Silence denies them the reaction. They crave. Toxic people thrive on getting a rise out of others. They feed off emotional reactions, using them as fuel for their negative behavior. By remaining silent, you starve them of this essential nourishment. Your lack of response leaves them confused and frustrated, unable to gain the satisfaction they seek from provoking you. Imagine a fire that's denied oxygen. It eventually sputters out. Similarly, your silence suffocates the toxic person's attempts to engage you in their drama. They may initially increase their efforts, trying harder to get a reaction, but as your silence persists, they'll find themselves floundering, unsure how to proceed without your participation. This approach aligns with the Stoic principle of focusing only on what's within our control. As Epictetus said, "You are not your body and hairstyle, but your capacity for choosing well. If your choices are beautiful, so too will you be." By choosing silence, you're making a beautiful choice that showcases your inner strength. Your silence also forces the toxic person to confront their own behavior. Without your reaction to distract them, they're left to face the ugliness of their actions. This self-reflection can be deeply uncomfortable for them, often leading to a reassessment of their approach, or in some cases, a complete withdrawal from the situation. 2. Silence preserves your energy and peace. Engaging with toxic individuals is exhausting. It drains your mental and emotional resources, leaving you depleted and stressed. By choosing silence, you conserve your energy, maintaining your inner peace and vitality. This preservation of energy is a form of self-care that toxic people can't penetrate. Think of your energy as a precious resource. Every time you react to toxic behavior, you're giving away a piece of that resource. Silence acts as a shield, keeping your energy intact and focused on your own growth and well-being. As Marcus Aurelius advised, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This conservation of energy becomes evident over time. While the toxic person expends enormous effort trying to provoke you, you remain calm and collected. Your peaceful demeanor stands in stark contrast to their increasingly frantic attempts to engage you. This difference becomes a source of strength for you and a source of frustration for them. Moreover, your silence allows you to channel your energy into positive pursuits. Instead of wasting time and effort on fruitless arguments or drama, you can focus on personal growth, meaningful relationships, and achieving your goals. This redirection of energy not only improves your life, but also serves as a silent rebuke to the toxic person's negativity. 3. Silence exposes their behavior to others. When you engage with a toxic person, it can often look like a two-way conflict to outside observers. Your silence, however, makes their toxic behavior glaringly obvious to everyone around. Without your participation, their negativity stands out in sharp relief, exposing them for who they truly are. Imagine a person shouting at a stone wall. The wall's silence only amplifies the absurdity of the person's behavior. Similarly, your silence magnifies the toxic individual's actions, making them appear increasingly irrational and unreasonable to others. As Seneca noted, the greatest remedy for anger is delay. Your silence is that delay, allowing others to see the situation clearly. This exposure can lead to social consequences for the toxic person. Others may begin to distance themselves, unwilling to associate with someone displaying such negative behavior. The toxic individual may find their influence and social standing diminishing as people recognize their true nature. Furthermore, your silence in the face of toxicity sets an example for others. It demonstrates a higher level of emotional maturity and self-control, inspiring respect and admiration. While the toxic person's reputation suffers, yours is likely to improve, further fueling their frustration and sense of defeat. 4. Silence forces them to fill the void. Nature abhors a vacuum, and so do toxic people. Your silence creates an uncomfortable void that they feel compelled to fill, often to their own detriment. As they struggle to fill this silence, they frequently reveal more about themselves than they intend, exposing their insecurities and true motivations. In their desperation to get a response, toxic individuals may escalate their behavior, making increasingly outrageous statements or actions. This escalation often leads them to cross lines they normally wouldn't, revealing the full extent of their toxicity. As Marcus Aurelius observed, "You always own the option of having no opinion." There is never any need to get worked up or to trouble your soul about things you can't control. The more they talk to fill your silence, the more they risk contradicting themselves or revealing inconsistencies in their behavior or arguments. This self-exposure can be deeply uncomfortable for them, as they inadvertently shine a light on their own flaws and manipulations. Moreover, your silence forces them to confront the emptiness of their own words. Without your engagement to distract them, they may begin to hear how hollow or hurtful their statements sound. This realization can be a powerful catalyst for self-reflection and, in some cases, the first step towards changing their behavior. 5. Silence demonstrates your emotional mastery. Remaining silent in the face of provocation showcases your emotional intelligence and self-control. It sends a clear message that you are the master of your emotions, not at the mercy of others' attempts to manipulate them. This display of mastery is often intimidating to toxic people who rely on emotional manipulation as their primary tool. Epictetus taught, "Any person capable of angering you becomes your master." By choosing silence, you refuse to hand over this power. Your calm in the face of their attempts to provoke you demonstrates a level of emotional maturity that they can't match or understand. This disparity in emotional control often leaves them feeling powerless and frustrated. Your silence also serves as a mirror, reflecting the toxic person's lack of emotional control back at them. In contrast to your calm, their emotional outbursts and manipulations appear childish and ineffective. This stark difference can be deeply unsettling for them, challenging their self-perception and their usual tactics. Furthermore, your emotional mastery through silence sets a new standard for interaction. It shows that you won't be baited into petty conflicts or drawn into their drama. Over time, this consistent demonstration of emotional control can lead to a shift in dynamics, with the toxic person realizing that their usual methods won't work on you. 6. Silence gives you time to respond strategically. In the heat of the moment, it's easy to say things we regret. Silence gives you the time and space to think carefully about how you want to respond, if at all. This strategic pause allows you to maintain control of the situation, rather than reacting impulsively to the toxic person's provocations. As Cato the Younger advised, "I begin to speak only when I'm certain what I'll say isn't better left unsaid." Your silence embodies this wisdom, ensuring that when you do choose to speak, your words carry weight and purpose. This measured approach often catches toxic people off guard, as they're used to provoking immediate emotional responses. During your silence, you can observe the toxic person's behavior more clearly. This observation period allows you to identify patterns in their actions, giving you valuable insight into their motivations and tactics. Armed with this knowledge, you can make more informed decisions about how to deal with them in the future. Moreover, your strategic silence gives you time to align your response with your values and long-term goals. Instead of being drawn into their immediate drama, you can choose actions that serve your higher purpose. This alignment ensures that even if you decide to engage, you do so on your terms, maintaining your integrity and peace of mind. 7. Silence shifts the power dynamic. In many toxic interactions, the person creating drama holds a perceived power over others. Your silence effectively flips this dynamic. By refusing to engage, you take back control, leaving the toxic individual struggling to regain their footing in the interaction. Consider the words of Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Your silence is a powerful demonstration of this principle. While the toxic person may try to dictate the terms of engagement, your refusal to participate leaves them powerless. This shift in power often leads to visible frustration in the toxic individual. They may escalate their behavior, trying desperately to regain control of the situation. However, each escalation only serves to highlight their lack of power, especially when met with continued silence. As this new dynamic settles in, you may notice changes in how the toxic person interacts with you. They might become more cautious, realizing that their usual tactics are ineffective. Some may even begin to show you more respect, recognizing the strength inherent in your silent stance. 8. Silence allows natural consequences to unfold. When you engage with toxic behavior, you often inadvertently shield the person from the natural consequences of their actions. Your silence removes this protection, allowing them to experience the full repercussions of their behavior. Epictetus noted, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." By choosing not to react, you're allowing the natural flow of cause and effect to take place without your intervention. This can be a powerful teacher for the toxic individual. Without your engagement to distract from their behavior, toxic people may find others reacting negatively to them. They might experience social isolation, damaged relationships, or professional repercussions. These natural consequences can be far more impactful than any argument or confrontation. Furthermore, your silence prevents you from becoming the scapegoat for their problems. Often, toxic individuals will blame others for the negative outcomes of their behavior. By remaining silent, you make it clear that they alone are responsible for their actions and the resulting consequences. 9. Silence promotes self-reflection in the toxic person. In the absence of your engagement, toxic individuals are left with an uncomfortable mirror reflecting their own behavior. This enforced self-reflection can be a powerful catalyst for change, as they're forced to confront the reality of their actions without the distraction of your responses. Seneca wisely said, "While we are postponing, life speeds by." Your silence creates a pause in the toxic person's usual pattern, potentially prompting them to reconsider the path they're on. Without your reaction to focus on, they may begin to question their own motivations and behavior. This self-reflection can be deeply uncomfortable for toxic individuals, as it forces them to confront aspects of themselves they usually avoid. Some may initially react with increased aggression or attempts to provoke you, but as your silence persists, they may grudgingly begin to look inward. Over time, this enforced self-reflection can lead to genuine change in some individuals. While it's not guaranteed, your silence creates the space necessary for this introspection to occur, something that constant engagement would prevent. 10. Silence breaks the cycle of toxicity. Toxic interactions often follow a predictable pattern: provocation, reaction, escalation. By choosing silence, you effectively break this cycle, disrupting the toxic person's expected script and leaving them unsure how to proceed. Marcus Aurelius advised, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Your silence embodies this principle, refusing to perpetuate the cycle of negativity. This break in the pattern can be jarring for the toxic individual who relies on predictable reactions to maintain their behavior. As you consistently meet toxicity with silence, you're not just protecting yourself, you're also denying the toxic person the opportunity to practice and reinforce their negative behaviors. This consistent boundary can, over time, lead to a reduction in their toxic actions, at least towards you. Moreover, by breaking the cycle, you're setting a new standard for interaction. This can have a ripple effect, influencing not just your relationship with the toxic person, but potentially their relationships with others as well. Your silence becomes a powerful example of how to respond to negativity without perpetuating it. 11. Silence magnifies their inner turmoil. Toxic behavior often stems from inner turmoil and insecurity. Your silence acts as a magnifying glass, amplifying their internal struggles by removing the distraction of external conflict. This intensified focus on their inner state can be deeply uncomfortable for toxic individuals. Epictetus observed, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." By not reacting, you force the toxic person to confront their own reactions and emotions. Without your engagement to blame for their discomfort, they're left facing their own inner demons. This magnification of inner turmoil often leads to increased agitation in the toxic person. They may become visibly uncomfortable, struggling to maintain their composure in the face of your calm silence. This discomfort is a sign that your silence is effectively shining a light on the root of their toxic behavior. Over time, this intensified awareness of their inner state may lead some toxic individuals to seek help or make changes in their behavior. While this isn't always the case, your silence creates the conditions necessary for this kind of deep, internal reckoning. 12. Silence demonstrates your immunity to manipulation. Toxic people often rely on various manipulation tactics to control others and situations. Your silence sends a clear message that you are immune to these manipulations, rendering their primary tools useless against you. As Seneca noted, the greatest power is often simple patience. Your silent patience in the face of manipulation showcases a strength that toxic individuals find hard to comprehend or counter. It's a demonstration that their usual tactics have no effect on you. This immunity can be incredibly frustrating for toxic people who are accustomed to being able to provoke reactions in others. They may try different approaches, escalating their attempts at manipulation, only to find that none of them work against your wall of silence. As they realize their inability to manipulate you, toxic individuals often experience a loss of perceived power. This can lead to them avoiding interactions with you, or in some cases, modifying their behavior to a less manipulative approach when dealing with you. 13. Silence allows you to observe and learn. While toxic people are exposing their behaviors and struggling with your lack of engagement, your silence gives you the opportunity to keenly observe and gain valuable insights. This learning process equips you with knowledge to better handle not just this toxic individual, but similar situations in the future. Marcus Aurelius advised, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Your silence is an exercise of this power, allowing you to study the situation objectively rather than being caught up in emotional reactions. During this observation period, you might notice patterns in the toxic person's behavior, identify their common triggers, or recognize the manipulation tactics they employ. This information becomes a powerful tool, helping you develop strategies to protect yourself and others from toxic behavior in the future. Moreover, this period of silent observation often leads to personal growth. You may gain insights into your own triggers and reactions, helping you develop even greater emotional resilience. This growth further fortifies you against toxic behavior, making your silent strength even more impenetrable. If you have made it this far, comment down below with the word 100% to confirm that you have received the knowledge from this video. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.